Welcome back, America. That's Ric Flair, referenced by my next guest, Senator Tom Cotton, on Face the Nation yesterday. I do not believe Senator Cotton is actually old enough to have watched Ric Flair wrestle. Am I wrong about that, Senator Cotton?
Oh, you are very wrong about that, Hugh Hewitt. Ric Flair was an icon growing up, as was Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant and Randy Macho Man Savage in a different wrestling league. But, yeah, the Nature Boy said it well.
Well, that was, he's retweeted that this morning. Ric Flair, I didn't even know Ric Flair was on Twitter. He came out and he retweeted that with a woo. Let's get to the substance, Senator.
It applies in politics and wrestling and sports and pretty much every other walk of life, Hugh.
Since you declared that no one had declared to run against Mitch McConnell, has anyone declared to run against Mitch McConnell?
Not to my knowledge, Hugh. And remember, it's not just Senator McConnell. There are 5, maybe 6 leadership elections in total for people like Joni Ernst and John Barrasso, John Thune. And to my knowledge, no one is contesting those positions, to include the positions that are currently being vacated because Lori Blunt is departing from one of our positions, and Joni is running for that, vacating her own position. So I don't really understand what we're talking about in terms of delaying an election that is uncontested when we have a runoff in Georgia where all of our focus should be placed. And to those who want to have what they call a debate about what happened in the election and where we're going, I agree. We should have such a conversation. Well, we're back in session today, and we have our weekly conference lunch meeting tomorrow. And these conference meetings that are scheduled on Wednesday typically run for several hours before we have votes. So there's plenty of time to discuss that, especially for uncontested elections. But I really think that all of our focus needs to be on Georgia, and once again, reiterating just how badly Raphael Warnock has failed the people of Georgia when it comes to massive inflation, rising crime, an open border, a weakened military, and make that contrast clear with Herschel Walker, who will reverse all of those trends if he is elected as the 50th senator.
And the 50-50 matters a lot, Senator Cotton, does it not?
It does matter. Obviously, it keeps the pressure on the Democratic caucus to hold all of their members together. And they have a lot of vulnerable members up for re-election in 2024 who might like to take a walk on legislation to prove their quote-unquote independence, when we all know they're truly a rubber stamp for the radical left-wing agenda they pursued over the last 2 years. Also matters in things like committee organization. The committees will be evenly divided. And we've had effective and successful efforts to block, for instance, the far left-wing chair or nominated chair of the Federal Communications Commission. So it certainly does matter a lot that we pick up this seat. But, Hugh, even more than that, it matters for the people of Georgia. This is a 6-year position, and the people of Georgia deserve better than the results Raphael Warnock has delivered them. They gave him a test run 2 years ago, and he's failed badly in those 2 years. And Herschel Walker will help stop the runaway spending. He'll help rebuild our military. He'll help get American energy production back underway and make sure that we're locking up violent criminals as opposed to coddling them. So even more so than it being 50-50 in Washington or 51-49, the people of Georgia deserve someone representing them for 6 years who will protect their interests and promote their deepest aspirations.
Now, Senator, I want it recorded somewhere. On the day that we're talking about this, I hope someone at the conference this week said, Xi is getting ready to invade Taiwan, and TikTok is sweeping the country, and they're collecting data on us, and we can't screw around. We really cannot screw around. Does the conference understand that China is it's the number one priority for the country? Does the conference get that?
Yeah, Hugh, I think most of our senators do, and frankly, some of the Democratic senators do as well. But we still need more action. So I hope President Biden, when he sat down with Xi Jinping this morning, was very clear and firm, made it clear that we're going to accelerate our arms deliveries to Taiwan so Taiwan can defend itself from invasion by communist China, that we will come to Taiwan's aid militarily if Chinese communists go for the jugular there, that the rule that the Biden administration announced last month about semiconductor technology going to China is only the first step, that we're going to take many more steps, both by the administration and by Congress, to stop China's unfair, predatory trade practices that are stealing our jobs and our technology and using them against us. I hope the president was very clear and firm on all those things this morning with Xi Jinping. But one thing that would help him going forward for the next 2 years to be stiff and resolved towards China is a strong, tough congressional agenda, and I expect to be a leader in crafting that agenda.
Last quick question, Senator. FTX stole billions from people. It's collapsed. 39 million of those billions went to Democratic candidates in this cycle. Do those Democratic candidates owe the folks who have been defrauded by FTX a refund?
Well, Hugh, the FTX collapse appears more and more like not just bad fortune, but potential criminal wrongdoing. And the Democrats didn't just benefit from Sam Bankman-Fried, the CEO of FTX's largesse, to the tune of $40 million. They also gave him a coveted seat at the table to craft crypto policy. So I think they have a lot of questions to answer in addition to accounting for that money and probably returning it.
I think let's start with just getting it back for the benefit of the small investors who got screwed, because once again, the small investor got screwed by fraud. Tom Cotton, thank you, Senator. Woo! As you said, that for the quote of the weekend.